everybody, and welcome back to Politically Black with Zach, where today I am talking to my friend, Mo Ivory, who is running for the Fulton County Commissioner seat of District 4. Mo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It is so great to have you here. Like, you are an icon of, you're an icon of not only Atlanta politics, but also of radio, television, and film. You are an academic. You do so much. That is the first thing I want to know off the bat. With all that you have done, with all that you do, with all that you can do, why are you running for Districts 4 for the Fulton County Board of Commissioners?
That's a really good question. A lot of people have asked me because, I'm busy and, I'm very active on social media.
Busy, baby.
Yeah, people know
busy.
what I'm doing. I'm teaching my classes and everything. But we don't have good people stepping up to serve. And that's really like the reason why I'm doing it. I saw that there were a lot of things going on in Fulton County. And particularly in this seat, there were things that were happening that I did not like. And I thought to myself, when is there ever the right time, right? When is there perfect timing for anything? Never. So when this came about and someone approached me and said, we really need some good leadership. And you have lived in the county for 35 plus years, which I have. I've lived in Grant Park, where we are filming right now, for more than 35 years, coming here as a college student to go to Spelman College. And so I said yes. I was called and I answered.
And, you brought up two really great points. Point number one is there's a lot of things happening in Fulton County. What's one thing that's happening in Fulton County that you want to see addressed on day one?
Yeah, healthcare. In the southern part of Fulton County, you're talking about East Point, College Park, that whole area, the Wellstar Hospital closing, the clinics closing. There's no health care in the south part of the county. And for that matter, there's not good health care all around in parts of the county. And so that, I think, is the number one thing. Fulton County is responsible for delivering health care services to its constituents. And a lot of people have confusion about, what does the city do? What does the county do? Listen, the city, the county, the state, they all have to work together. But healthcare is one of the health and human services that the county is responsible for. $1 billion+ budget is what Fulton County has, which is bigger than the city of Atlanta. So a lot of times we think about the city, but the city of Atlanta, yes, is the largest city in Fulton County, but it's only one of 17 cities inside of Fulton County. So the budget is large, right? So we have to take care of things like healthcare. We have to take care of criminal justice. All the court systems, including the district attorney's office, is responsible under that budget. The jail is responsible under that budget. The library system is responsible under that budget. The animal services come under that. I mean, just so many things. That senior services come under that budget, which is so important. Think about all the seniors that live in Fulton County. Taxes, assessment and collection, which are two different things. How your house is assessed is different from who collects your taxes. So just in this I'm an educator, right? I'm a teacher. So the first thing I have to do is teach people. What do you expect of your county commissioner? And you should expect something, because they're working with $1 billion+ that's supposed to flow down to you after you pay your taxes. So you should care about it.
That is a profound statement of fact.
Yeah.
And you really hit on a really great point about people don't understand the function of the Fulton County Commission compared to the city of Atlanta's, our board there and the commissions of the state. So what's the biggest difference between the people that function at the municipal level, where they're handling in these 17 cities, and then the responsibility of our county elected officials?
Yeah, so like I said, there's the cities, right? And just think about it from like where you live. There's your neighborhood, right? And then that's your address. Then next comes your city, Atlanta, if you live in Atlanta. College Park, East Point, Hapeville. So it's your address, 124 Main Street, Atlanta. Then there is your state, Georgia. Where does all of that sit? In your county, Fulton County. So of course the county plays a major role, has to work with the city, has to work with the council people, the mayor, the state, and the county. So the county is right there providing all those services that I just talked about, and people just don't necessarily know, like, oh, I'm getting this service from, if you see a coyote in your yard or a deer in your yard, and you're like, Who do I call? Well, that's actually the county who provides all the animal services in all of the cities, that budget. So anytime there's a
Or
dead
your
animal.
neighbor has a dog that won't be on the leash, or you have an animal that's been hit, rogue hit from the road.
Or someone
you
bit
now
a
have to-
child or
right.
something like that, right? When you go and you see, oh, they're renovating the library in my neighborhood. And even if you don't visit the library and you don't have a library card, you go there to vote.
Or they're closing the library.
Or they're
in my
closing the
neighborhood.
library. But you go to the library a lot of times to vote, right? Or you go to the library to use the computer because you don't have one at home and your kids need to do their homework. Or you need a printer and the only place you could go print for free is at the library, right? You take for granted these services that are available. A lot of people who are unsheltered go to the library in the daytime and they spend their time in the libraries for warmth or for just a place to be able to be. That plays a huge role. If you've ever gone to the Central Library downtown and seen all the beauty that comes there, all the programs and all of the services that are offered there, that all comes out of the county. And like I said, most crucially, health care and the state courts and the jail, all of that comes from the county.
You really, in mentioning our unsheltered population, and I looked on your website, and that is one of the key issues that you are campaigning on and that you want to address is our county's unhoused population. What can you do as a District 4 commissioner to better improve outcomes and living quality for our unhoused citizens?
I mean, everybody has to work together to resolve the homelessness problem because homelessness is tied to many issues. It's tied to affordability, right? We have a huge problem here in this city, in this county, with affordable housing. When people cannot afford to be housed, then they are going to become homeless, right? So that's one thing, affordability. A very important issue tied to affordability are taxes, right? Assessments, the type of units that are being allowed to be built, right? When builders come in and decide to build big complexes and they price people out of neighborhoods, that all has to do with the county, working with the city, and then providing those services to people who are unsheltered, whatever is the term you want to use, unsheltered, homeless, needing immediate housing, whatever it is you want to use, all of those issues that are about getting people in homes where they can live, where they can afford, where they can get the services is done in collaboration with the county, the city, and definitely the money that comes from the state.
You know, Mo, earlier in the interview, you talked about you're not happy with some of the things that you've seen from the current office holders across the board. And we know that you're running against an incumbent, and it's going, an incumbent who's been there for 5 years, who did have a small scandal that some people may not know about that involved an employee and allegations of sexual harassment, sexual harassment, inappropriate behavior. Do you think that issue makes you unfit for office?
I think when you are an elected official and you cost the taxpayers $1 million, it's not an allegation. It has been already turned into a judgment. So I'm not saying anything that's not a matter of fact. And I don't really care to discuss what people do in their bedroom, right? It's not really the issue. The issue is really what happens when somebody does something that then affects the constituents. And that is wasted resources. So we're talking about $1 million in wasted resources because that is the judgment that was put against the person who is sitting in this seat right now.
And that's $1 million.
$1 million of
Fulton
Fulton County residents'
pay.
money that was ordered by a judge. And so I'm not talking about something that is like out there as a, mistake of judgment. This is something that was costing the taxpayers $1 million. Now, what could we have done with that $1 million? That's really what the question is. It's not about what people do in their free time. It's about what could that $1 million have been used for? And I can think of many ways it could have been used. For seniors, right? Transportation back and forth to doctor's appointments, to the grocery store, to things that they need to survive every day. That could have gone to healthcare services. That could have gone to the homeless. That could have gone to children. It could have gone to so many things. $1 million. So what I'm saying is that I would like to see elected officials in office that have good judgment. and elected officials that think about the value of their position and the resources that they control doing good work that is good for the citizens, not costing the citizens $1 million. That's the issue.
You know, I cannot argue with any of those. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that, you know, when I see, you know, because it was a standout story.
Yeah.
It didn't get a lot of coverage, but it was stand out to me because so often you see a different scenario where you see men elected to office doing inappropriate things, and it's rare to see it, you know, with a female for whatever reason. So that's why the story stood out to me. But I think that I can't argue with the point you just made. Like, I hate to see any elected official who's worked hard because of a personal choice suffer. But if it was a bad personal choice made that, again, cost taxpayers the amount of money that you put on the line, $1 million, that could have been repurposed for a lot of things, I can't argue with you at all.
Listen, I think sometimes people have lapses in judgment. I think we've seen that even in Fulton County. Not the best decisions being made in areas, but it hadn't cost the constituents anything.
That is true.
It didn't come back down on what could have been done in your neighborhood with that money instead, right? So really, that's the issue.
That's the bottom
wasted
line.
resources.
Wasted resources. So for people out there who are catching this and they're like, I want to help Mo win, what can they do? What can anyone in Fulton County do? Anyone really watching anywhere, what can they do to support you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is to get the message out that I'm running and that they have a choice. That people who live in District 4, it's the neighborhoods, it's all up and down the Southeast Corridor. So it's all the way from the neighborhoods of Virginia Highlands, Inman Park, Old Fourth Ward, Midtown, Grant Park, Ormwood Park, Summerhill, Peoplestown, all the way south down to West End, to Capitol View, to East Point, Hapeville, and a tip of College Park. That is a very important corridor right there. And if you know any
I think it's the most important corridor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful part of the city.
Beloved city.
Absolutely, and diverse. And I just love the district. I would just want people who live in the district, number one, to support me because I feel like I'm going to bring some fresh, smart, new energy to the district. And then if you don't live in the district, please tell your friends that do live in the district about me running. Go to moivory.com and find out about me. And then I hope I can earn their support on Election Day.
And we're going to have that, of course, your website linked into the show notes. But you talk about support, you know, throughout your work with political action and activism in this city, you've made a lot of very connected friends in your network. What are some of the key endorsements that you've already received?
So, yeah, I mean, I've been working in politics for a long time and behind the scenes for a very long time. Since 2008, when Jim Martin was in a runoff race against Saxby Chambliss for a Senate seat. I worked on that campaign and just, you know, a ton of campaigns after that. And then for 2 full cycles, I worked very closely on Stacey Abrams' campaign for governor. And I'm so proud of all of the work that we did in all of those campaigns. And also for Senator John Ossoff, and volunteered on, you know, numerous other campaigns and lended my help. So, I mean, I think you'll see all of those people coming out and supporting me. The most important endorsements, you know, I have the endorsement of the chairman of the Fulton County Commission, Chairman Rob Pitts, who I feel is an excellent advisor because he's been in politics in this city, both the city and the county, for so long, and he's a wonderful advisor. And obviously, I'm going to have the support of Stacey Abrams, but the real endorsements come from the people who are in the neighborhoods. And those are the people that I care about the most. The leaders in the neighborhoods who, Senator Nan Orrock, who lives in my neighborhood, who I've known for years, right? Those people are the ones that Ann Kramer, who lives from Inman Park, who is just a jewel in this city, who wants, you know, a smart person who's going to come in and have integrity in this position. So for me, the endorsements, you know, lining up a full page of endorsements of people that like don't live in the district and don't, you know, it's just not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make my message and my credibility and my record stand on its own, what I've done.
Itself.
Yeah, and as a professor, law professor at Georgia State, which is in my district, you know, I know people have seen my work, and I've done my work without looking for any accolades to go along with it, without looking for any press coverage of it, because I'm about teaching my students. And that's the core of being an elected official, is teaching people what they need to know about the resources that are out there for them. And that's what as a commissioner, I will do. If somebody has a problem, I'm going to educate them on how they can get that problem resolved. So it's really about priorities, actions, and then results.
How many years would you say you've spent in the political arena, in the Georgia political arena, if you look at it in terms of you being activated as a citizen and as an advocate and an activist with politics? How many years would you say it's been?
Wow, I think it would probably be since about 1991 when I was a senior at Spelman College.
So we'll say 40 years.
Something
about
like
35,
30 something
years.
plus,
We'll say 30
35
plus
years, whatever, yeah.
Are you going to give us 30 more?
Because
let me tell you what I want to see.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
yes.
Mo, let me tell you what I see. I see you being like Angela Davis, sitting there at the lectern, still advocating, still fighting, still educating, and still serving the people. And there's so many people who have come and they've run amazing campaigns and they've done great service, but they stop. Mm-hmm. They kind of step back, which I think is always appropriate to take breaks. But I don't think it's appropriate for some of us who are as skilled and as talented as you to ever stop. Yeah. Take a break, but never stop. It's been a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for taking time and making space to join us today on Politically Black. And I can't wait to have you back in that seat when you're serving the people of Fulton County as a District 4 Fulton County Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you.